Hello, my chickens are out of the bisque, and the one that we made together is ready to glaze. And so I thought I would walk through the process of how I glaze and the thought process of the glazing of the chicken. So let me turn you around here and we will take a look at the chickens. One of the things that I did forget to mention when we made the chicken, I forgot to mention the tail. And of course, that chicken didn't get a tail, but I'll show you two others that I made using the same process and the tails. And I just made coils and used the tails, and you'll be able to see how I made the coils to make tails. So let's turn you around and take a look at this. So there are the chickens. Here's the one that we made together right here. You can see the tails that I made on the other two. I just used coils to make the tails. This one here has a little bit of a crooked beak, a little bit of character there, and so the coils, and then just pushed them in on the back like that. But this little guy right here is the one that we are going to glaze together. And I have hot tamale. I will get some yellow as well. And let's go to my wall where I have all of my interactive pigments. That's right over here. These are interactive pigments from Georgie's, and these are all of my test tiles. So each row has a different type of glaze. So like this row right here is all clear. Our zinc-free clear from Georgie's. This one is clear from Georgie's. So each one has a different glaze. And then each line has a different interactive pigment. And so I like to take a look at this when I'm trying to decide what to glaze, especially if I want to use my interactive pigments. And I was thinking, as I looked at this, I was thinking about a chicken that we had, my daughter's favorite chicken growing up. And this chicken was a little cream-colored chicken, almost like a buff. It was a really light orange, kind of like this color here. And she loved that chicken. She would carry it everywhere she went. And so I think I am going to make this chicken this color here. And when I look at the back of it, it says it's IP203, which is interactive pigment. It says 10, which I know this is my zinc-free line, and this is my interactive pigment 102. Interactive pigment 102. This is the sheet you can get from Georgie's that has all of their interactive pigment. And so 10, hold it. Yeah, 103. Sorry, not 102. It's 103. 103 is golden straw. So I will get out my golden straw and we will begin the glazing process. Here she is, out of the bisque, a beautiful little chicken here. And so we are going to use golden straw, IP203, which is an interactive pigment. It's like a wash. You brush it on and then you wipe it back. And if you remember from the test tile, let me go grab that. Remember from the test tile, this side here is not wiped back and this side has been wiped back. And I like this golden straw, so I'm going to wipe back a little bit, but not very much, because I want a little bit more of the golden straw. And so with the interactive pigments, they recommend that you mix them with water, half strength. You can mix them however you want. I know some people don't mix them, but I do. I mix about half strength, maybe a little bit more sometimes. And I just use old medicine bottles to mix them in and keep them in. And so this here, it is my golden straw. It has IP203 on it, golden straw, and I shake it up and then open it. Oh, I should have grabbed Tuxedo. I will grab Tuxedo for her eyes. I'm going to take my brush and just put it in and just begin to wipe it on. Oh, let me turn that. Let me show you here. So as you wipe it on, see, it kind of, it'll run and it'll go down the sides. It really does. It soaks in really fast. Kind of goes right into the grooves, which is really nice, the way it goes into the grooves here. So I'm just going to finish putting this interactive pigment on her. And you can see how it just kind of goes in. I'm going to get it in all of the little crevices. It really soaks into the crevices and cracks, and that helps to bring out that golden straw color that we have here on this pigment. You can see the parts where I've gotten her all glazed up here. I like to put my my stuff that I'm glazing on a little turntable so I can just turn it around. The turntable that I have is one that John made for me. He just got, you know, a turntable, a Lazy Susan thing from Home Depot. Cut out a round board and just connected the two together. And I have a smaller one. He made a really big one for himself for his wells. And so we have the interactive pigment on her. Try to get up here around her eyes a little bit. I usually just do the one coat. Try to make sure it's kind of even. Make sure I've gotten in all of the cracks and crevices. So there she is. Look at her. Now I'll take my sponge, wring it out damp, and just begin to wipe back a little bit. Like I said, I don't want to wipe back too much, but I do want it wiped back a little bit. I have noticed golden straw isn't one of them, but some of the interactive pigments, if you look at, if you remember from the glaze wall, some of them, when you don't wipe back, they tend to crawl. Golden straw is one that I haven't seen that problem with, but some of the others do. So, and when I got my interactive pigments, I just got the whole kit. And they just come with these little ones, little bottles like this. You can get individual, or you can get a kit with all of the bigger bottles, but just to try it out, I just got the smaller kit because I wasn't sure, you know, how much I was going to use them. And I do use them for outdoor stuff. It does recommend that you don't use it for dinnerware. Let's see. It says it's food safe. IP must be thinned 50-50 with water wiped back and have a food safe glaze applied for it to be food safe. So, but I usually don't use my interactive pigments on my dinnerware, just because I have heard that you want to be careful. So I usually just don't use them on my dinnerware, but I do like to use them on my outdoor pieces, like my mushrooms and my my chickens. And like, I used interactive pigments when I made the stars for the Star Words. If you remember those, I used interactive pigments on those as well. So she's all wiped back. I need to let her dry a little bit so that the glaze will stick. So we will come back. And she's ready. She has dried out a little bit from wiping her back. She's ready to put the zinc-free clear on it. I'm hoping this turns around. If it doesn't, I'll put a comment someplace. But this is Georgie's zinc-free clear, PG 630. But before I put this on her, I'm going to do the Stroke and Coat. I have Stroke and Coat Hot Tamale. I have Stroke and Coat Sunkissed. Stroke and Coat Tuxedo. Okay. And Stroke and Coat Cottontail. I use a little palette when I do my Stroke and Coats. This is a paint palette that I made. It is a palette that Forest Ceramics, I use the same way that she does it. I got this pattern from Jessica Putman Phillips through Clayshare, and when I make my palette, I make the topper layer a little thicker than the bottom layer, so it's not quite as heavy. But this one here, you know, it has a little whale on it for a brush holder. It's a little messy. My grandkids love using my palettes when they come over and glaze, so, and I really don't want to waste the glaze, so, you know, I just kind of try to use up what they have left in the little holes. Hot tamale. I'm going to make her Waddles hot tamale. So work on that. I just realized maybe I was talking a little fast. I am sorry. Calm down. Enjoy the process. It's part of what I like about clay, working with ceramics, is the chance to just slow down, enjoy the process, take some time to decompress and just be in the moment. I think most art type projects are kind of like that for me, but ceramics is one that really has spoken to me. Walking can do that for me too, but it takes a little bit longer when I'm taking a walk. I love walking on the beach. Bike riding, now that's one thing that really I can just decompress. It's a little bit different style of decompression, but that kind of helps too. I'm going to be going on a sabbatical here for 3 months. So I'll have February, March, and April off as a sabbatical. And so, you know, trying to think about ways that I can just spend time rebuilding some healthy habits, like walking the beach, getting out for a bike ride, eating better, spending some time with clay, some time to think about life, where we are in life, what are our best ways forward, you know, those type of things. I'll be doing some education type pieces too, but I am a pastor of a local congregation, and I'm privileged that they have voted to offer me a sabbatical. So I'm going to take this time to really help me so that when I do come back, I come back refreshed and renewed and ready to help to lead the congregation in whatever they find themselves in at this time. Life is a journey and a process. Each of our journeys are different, and yet sometimes they overlap. Okay, so I got the hot tamale on. I'll let that dry a little bit and go on to Sunkissed. Let me see. I can go right here. Oops. So anyway, while I am on sabbatical, you just might see a little bit more of me, because I might have a little bit more time. I might not. Who knows? Who knows what's going to entail during the 3 months? But we will see. So I'm doing the beak in Sunkissed. Give her a nice yellow beak. Could have done it in orange too, but I think Sunkissed is good. Now I want the tuxedo for her eyes. Got a bit more of that than I wanted out. I don't need that much. I got 2 other chickens to glaze though too. So there's my little palette, see? My brushes go right there. I really like, I saw a paint palette that somebody had done. I don't remember who. Or, no, I think I found it on Pinterest. I remember taking an image of it. I don't know. Anyway, it's more of a circle, and then it has a place in the middle where you can put a water glass. Actually, I think I did see this on somebody's channel. They were making it as a Christmas gift. I'll have to see if I can look that up. I have started. I brought a notebook. I have a lot of different notebooks. I have a separate notebook for my glaze journal. I showed you my notebook for my test tiles earlier. Oh, and I got a notebook for my pottery journal. This one here that I use for my pottery journal. Not always as good at keeping up on the pottery journal. I also have a notebook that I use for my kiln log. But anyway, I have a smaller notebook that I just came across the other day. I got lots of notebooks that are just sitting around. So I came across a smaller one the other day, and I put it in the house by my chair where I watch my YouTube channels, and I have begun writing down notes. Things that I see on somebody's channel that I find interesting, so that I can go back at it and say I've started like putting an I in front of ideas, inspiration that I got, ideas that I got from other people's channels, maybe glazes that I see, or glazes that John sees that he wants to try. Write those down. So that when I do think of something that I'm going to use or mention, I actually have it written down and I can go back to it and say, oh yeah, that was so and so. Instead of going, I know I saw that somewhere, I just am not sure where I saw that, which I'm good at. And sometimes, I'll take inspiration from other people or other places. These chickens here, I know I started searching chickens on Pinterest, and there are a ton of these on Pinterest. But I know I originally got the idea for these last year from Clayshare, watching one of Jessica Putman Phillips' tutorials, and she was making, I don't know if she was making chickens or if she was, I think she was making chickens. And so, but I really like the way that Sheila from Cozy Ceramic Shelia made her combs. So I changed up my pattern a little bit. I decided I would make combs like this instead. And then I do want to make some little chickens the way that Cozy Sheila does, but actually I was thinking, instead of making them as a pinch pot, I was thinking about throwing them on the wheel. Might be a little bit more challenging than what I'm up to right now. I've never done a closed form, and so I'm thinking if I throw them on the wheel, probably have to do a closed form. I have a good friend of mine here who she makes rabbits, and she does them similar shape to the way that Cozy Ceramic Sheila did her chickens, probably more like the smaller one. But she throws them on the wheel and she throws them off the hump. Well, maybe I might try that. Maybe I will just go to her and say, I need a lesson. Can you please teach me? And I'm sure she would. She is actually the person who originally taught me how to throw. And she was the person that the studio I was working at recommended teaching me to throw. And I'm still learning. I just started throwing about a year ago. It took me a while to even get up the courage to throw when I took ceramics at community college. I mean, the first class, Ceramics 101 or whatever it was numbered, was all hand building. And so, we started with pinch pots, and then we did coil building, and we did slab building. And then the very last class period, we got a chance to try our hand at the wheel. And oh my goodness, I was so terrible. I decided the wheel is not for me. I'm never going to learn the wheel. And so I just, but I loved hand building. And so, you know, wasn't sure I really wanted to even learn the wheel. But eventually I decided that I was going to try it, and it was very challenging for me. And so I actually, my husband, he's like, well, John, he's like, if you're ever going to learn the wheel, you need to practice more. And I had, at that time, and actually still now, if I was still going to the studio, I'd only have time 1 day a week. And that's if I'm lucky. Some weeks I wasn't able to get down there 1 day, but I tried to get down there at least 1 day a week. And so he decided that he was going to buy me a wheel. And I was like, well, I don't want you to get me a real expensive wheel because, I mean, what if this just doesn't work out? And I just really didn't want him to spend all of his money on a wheel for me. So, and I seriously thought a lot about what type of wheel to get. And then I saw several of the advertisements that, you know, the tutorial, or not tutorials, reviews that came out last year for the Beaver wheels. And, you know, I thought about it. I wasn't sure. Wasn't sure if I wanted a wheel, you know, a cheaper wheel like that. Wasn't sure if that was the right option for me. And I remember one of the reviews I watched said, you know, that it was a good wheel for somebody who's just starting out because it's not that expensive. And if it doesn't work, it ends up not working for you, then you're not out that much money. And I talked to the gal who owns the studio that I go to, and she's like, you know, I mean, if you're only spending 150, you would easily be able to sell it and make at least part of your money back. If you ever decide to upgrade or something like that. So John ended up getting me one of the Beaver wheels. I love it. I use it all the time. That's what I use, is my wheel. I have put it up on a higher table because I've found that standing at the wheel works better for me. I'm able to engage my whole core, and it just works better for me. And also, I do have a bad back, and I find that standing is just better for my back. Okay, we have that part of her done. Now, let's get the clear on her. Depending on the type of glaze you put on top of these interactive pigments, they react differently. Just like, I mean, you saw zinc-free clear is different than the clear with the zinc in it. So it's good to test. That's why I have all of those test tiles. And test. You know, test and see what works for you. Test and see what you're going to like, what you're going to do. And actually, John, amazingly enough, is beginning to test. He's usually quite impatient, which I totally get impatience in that. But he has lately been asking me, where are the test tiles? I need to test this. I don't want to just put it on a whale and totally ruin an entire whale just because I don't have the patience to test. So that's a good thing. So just glaze her all up. We'll do 2 coats on her. And I'll do probably a coat of clear on the inside too. I might do this, I might just pour the Studio White on the inside. I don't know. If I was going to pour the Studio White on the inside, I probably should have done it before I started glazing. So I guess she gets brushed on the inside too. Try to get in all of the little cracks and crevices. Get a smaller brush for in here. I'm gonna pause you, and then when I'm done, come back, I'll show you the final product after I do 2 coats of this zinc-free clear. Okay, so we're back. I have her glazed. Oh, looks like I need a few spots right there. Just double checking, make sure I got everything. It's like some of the crevices need to be just kind of rubbed a little bit. Make sure the glaze gets in all of the little cracks. I know you probably don't have to do this, but I want to wipe off the bottom because I definitely do not want her to stick to the shelf. Okay, there she is. She is ready for the kiln. And this video will probably go up after I unload the kiln, so you will see her come out of the kiln first. If you have liked, subscribed, push the little bell button if you want to see when I upload a video. And there she is. She's all ready for the kiln. And thank you so much for joining me on this journey as I glaze my little chicken. And she will come out and we will enjoy the final product together. Thank you.